Welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Uh, what a better way to maybe start your day for a little innovation, some motivation, and maybe a way to cope with your day. My name's Jay Anderson. I'm from Beckley, West Virginia, and my gratitude for the day is being able to get on this platform and enjoy a great conversation about Jay Shetty's daily Calm app that we listen to, and just I feel good about it.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Earl from Raleigh, North Carolina. It's always a pleasure to come on this podcast to strengthen myself inside, and that's my gratitude. This is this podcast that we share every day. It's a great way to start the morning, but it's also a great way to start our day as we strengthen ourselves both emotionally and spiritually. And I hope it can do the same for you.
Hey guys, I'm Christine Wright, hailing out of Brooksville, Florida. My gratitude for the day is rest. Rest when you need it, right? So today, Jay talked about join with gold. He was talking about how we all stumble and fall, we get dings, we're broken, but we can grow and embrace those cracks, right? We need to transform what's broken into something beautiful. But we usually tend to throw out the broken, right, guys? So he was talking about Kintsugi, which is it means to join with gold. It highlights the broken pieces by gold. So it rejoins like a plate or something like that. And then you put gold in the cracks and it highlights those cracks, right? We think that we cannot be fixed or repaired, but we can fill in our cracks with the gold, right? You won't be exactly like you were before, but that's okay. It's healing and transforming into something bigger and better, right? Um, the scuffs and scars makes us take action in a new way. Some kintsugi takes a long time to develop, right? Some take is much quicker, but we don't need to delete the past. We need to focus on the healing, and this can allow more peace into our lives. Um, how do we survive, learn, and grow? This is a really good one. And kintsugi is like the white porcelain dishes that they fill with gold, and then it's like one full piece now, right? But it's emphasized with the gold, right? Um, it makes sense, right? Like we've all had stuff in our past that uh has broken us, right? Or in some, not maybe broken us, but broken pieces of us, right? How do we get past that? How do we transform? How do we get into the action? What are you guys' thoughts?
Well, definitely. First of all, growing from within, I think is very important, but we need to find what it is by discovering, what makes us who we are as human beings. But when we learn to grow, when we have those cracks and those issues from our past, we need to sometimes change is necessary, but also sometimes just self-development. I mean, if it's reading a book, taking up a new hobby, meditation, what find what works for you. And life is short, and sometimes through life, you get the unexpected. But when you get that unexpected, you got to follow your path. Don't look at what everyone else is doing. You got to follow what you're doing, and find it is that captures your heart and grow with it.
So Earl, what you're saying is don't follow necessarily somebody else's path because that might not be our path. Is that what
That
you're saying?
exactly. And you, Kristen, you're spot on about something. Some people grow slower than others. Some people grow faster than others. And sometimes we have to learn to accept that. Sometimes it's harder for people to accept that. Some people have more stronger egos than others, but we have to learn to accept who we are. And if it's a slower path, but it leads to bigger success, let it be. I mean, you have to learn to accept it and grow with it, and also be creative. Sometimes creativity, what we do every day, can help out too. I mean, new ideas, something that's gonna open up your eyes and make things better than they were before.
Yeah, that's well said. And, and pretty powerful. Earl, the at the end of the day, life is short. Zero question. It, it we're only here the blink of the eye in the overall scheme of things. Uh, I had a hard time trying to rationalize this in my head, join with gold statement. And I'll be honest with you, what really resonated with me, and I kind of maybe uh, the viewers out there, if you're listening, if you listen to this podcast, Jay Shetty's of Join with Gold, maybe you might be able to resonate with this statement. Once I put this into play, the Join with Gold really made sense to me. But are we really not trying to find the silver linings of negativity or within negativity or the events that have been, uh, I don't know that negative is a word, but do we find silver linings in events that do not suit us well? Do we try to find the good in them? And I think that's joined with gold is when you find those silver linings, are you not patching your emotional tear down with gold by finding the silver linings? Is the silver linings, is that the gold that they're talking about? And I feel like it is. So it resonated with me. It's hard to be so intentional to recognize these things when you're going through an event because when you're going through whatever it may be, your emotions will take over. It's just going to. And Earl, you're right. With life being as short as it is, going back to that statement, is it not worth the time for us when an event takes place that maybe we step back and ask ourselves, hey, what good has come out of this?
I Jay, I wanted to make a statement on this, because I used to talk to a group of college students that they were in their freshman year, and a lot of times college kids they hit what they call like a wall with realizing what they're getting into, especially when they're in first year of college, how it's a lot different than high school and what it is that they want in life. Okay, and you'd be amazed at how many students are questioning, did I choose the right path? You know, their parents sending them to school and they're questioning themselves. And I told these students myself personally, I said, hey, listen, life is short. You know, if this isn't the right path for you, that's okay. Talk to your counselor. Reach out. If you know that something doesn't feel right, is not right, if you don't belong, let's just make an example. I talked to one student who had a passion for animals, who wanted to be a veterinarian. Well, she saw what it was like to be in school with that, and she couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle, what it take, in the medical side of it. And I told her, that's okay. That's okay. That means it's not meant for you. It's not your path. What you need to do is, if you have to take another course or just pivot, talk to your parents, talk to a counselor. It's okay to make changes. You're we all hit walls in our path of life. Like I've hit walls myself, but we need to learn to pivot. You're gonna slip and fall like everybody else. I've slipped and fall a couple hundred times, but hey, that's
That's
life.
in a day for me, Earl.
That's it. Yeah, yeah, really. But the truth of the matter is, don't be afraid to reach out for that light at the end of the tunnel. Ask for help because you just don't know what path that's going to take you. And this is for if anybody in the younger people listening out there, or even if you're starting a new career, if you have to restart your life for any reason, you know, don't be afraid to make change. I mean, if you slip and fall, those cracks. If you have to cover them with gold, if that's part of the path where we need to fix those cracks, to make ourselves who we are, then so be it. Because life is not perfect. We're not
No,
perfect.
no, and nor will it ever be. But
Mm-hmm.
what Christine said earlier, and what Jay Shetty, the comment that he made was when the decision is to fix whatever that may be and whatever that means to you, it'll never go back to what it was.
Mm-hmm.
There's no the original whatever is not in place anymore, and it is to that extent that we have to find the silver linings or the gold to patch to say, okay, well maybe if I do this, this will at least give me a direction or a thought or whatever. And it is that point that's so pivotal within this whole conversation.
Right. And Jay, one other thing I want to bring up is family relationships. Sometimes we hit cracks in relationships with our own family. And those things are not easy to fix, but if we have to fix them, that correct, some things can be fixed, some things can't. I mean, but if it can be fixed, don't be afraid to try to fix it. It's better said than done sometimes, most of the time. But I mean that's another example of what we're dealing with.
I love all of this. So good. Earl, I have a comment to make. So yesterday I listened to two different people, and I didn't even relate it to this until Earl started talking about kids' path to college, right? So I listened to the Benham Brothers yesterday and also John Maxwell yesterday. And both of their talks were about the same thing, right? Like John Maxwell was talking about like failing forward, right? Or leaning in, growing to your next level, right? It's not going to the next level, it's growing into your next level, right? Because no matter what you're doing in life, we have to grow into the person that can handle the next level, right? Because granted, life is hard, right? But we're preparing for the harder and then the hardest, right? So we got to continue to grow ourselves into that next level. And then the Benham brothers were talking about, like, Earl, this goes into what you were saying about picking your path in college, right? A lot of 18-year-olds don't have a clue what they want to do with their life. They don't. Like I have an 18-year-old and I have another one that's getting ready to turn 21 next month. And neither one of them, I mean, my 18-year-old knows what he wants to do with his life. He's going to be a day trader, crypto, like that's his path. That is what he's going to do. Now, my 21-year-old, she didn't know what she wanted to do until she was 20. So, and what she's doing right now isn't even what she wants to do, but it's a means to get her to where she wants to go, right? So if you're 18 out there starting college, or even if you're in college, don't worry. Nobody knows what they want to do. And the thing is most kids think it's just them. It's not. It's everybody, right? But
Well,
what the Benham brothers talk about is the three keys to figure out if you're on the wrong path. One is increased frustration. If you are so frustrated at the end of the day and you can't get past it, and you're causing the people in your life more frustration, you're on the wrong path. That's one key, right? The second key is increased pain, which means like you have an increased pain to keep moving forward, right? And then the third key is decreased progress or stalled progress, like you're not making any progress with what you're doing. Those are the three keys that if you're on the wrong path, those three things are going to show up in your life for sure.
wow. And so pivotal. The thing of it is, at the young age of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, within that range, people are telling us all the time what they think we need to do in life. The reality is that your parents, hey, you need to become this. Hey, you need to try to do that. And sometimes the parents live vicariously through this motion because they wish maybe they did it. Crazy part is if we had this information at that age, if we had this to say, you know what, Christine, man, you're right. I'm just so frustrated with this. Thank you. Now I realize why. I'm frustrated. And to not know what you want to do in life, there's nothing wrong with that. That is human nature. I'm 58 years old. 58, and I still question what I want to do.
Well, John Maxwell is 78 and he's still reinventing himself.
Yes,
He is 78 years old and he continuously is growing into a new person all the time. He's continuously reinventing himself. So if a 78-year-old can do it, an 18-year-old can definitely do it.
that's right.
And guys, I just want to put this out there, and for everyone listening, I'm originally from Massachusetts, from the Northeast, and I come from an area. We have a territory called
We're
Five.
sorry about that, by the way. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh, yeah. I apologize for mentioning that, Jay. But there was something that important worth saying. Because you never been up there. We have five
And
college. We have five colleges. They're within I think a 10-mile radius. It's called the Five College Area in Amherst, Massachusetts. And what they do is it's like a share program. If we know a student is struggling in college, and they need to transfer majors, if it's a emotional problem, whatever the problem is, they have the tools and the know-how to help these students, especially if they're far away from home. If they're from like Texas, Florida, even California, and they come up here, for their what they went to school for. um I heard nothing but great things about this program, because these young people, I mean, it's a scary world out there. And what they try to do is give them the confidence, say, listen, if this program's not working for you, if you know it's too much for any reason, we're here to help. And it's more today's technology and the way things are today with helping students that are in distress. I think it's amazing. So you just never know what's out there until you open up your eyes, and if you know that you're on the wrong path, just say it's okay. I need to make a change. Reach out for help.
such a strong point. Earl makes probably one of the most compelling points out of this whole thing. If it is that in life, it doesn't matter, age is irrelevant at this point, okay? There are so many resources available to us. It's that we're frustrated. We're not thinking in the right clarity as we once possibly could have been, and we're hunting for clarity. Where are these resources that we can get? And Earl, you just pointed out, like if live in that area, that is a resource. You know, Mr. Google, folks, is one smart son of a bitch. Don't care what anybody says. Okay. Get on there, Google, ask for, guidelines for future jobs or how to go about it or guidelines on how to control my emotions. My emotions are out of whack. I'm not sure what I'm feeling. There are resources at our fingertips. The thing of it is, we need to move forwards to explore those. If not, we can get sucked into a mental vacuum, and that mental vacuum is harmful because sometimes we don't have coping mechanisms to get out of it.
Yeah.
Seek help. It doesn't matter even if it means to go see a licensed therapist, folks, which we are not. Even if it means to do that, by all means, such a strong recommendation. Okay. And it's guys, I think we all have cracks in our armor. Those cracks never go away. But what Jay Shetty is saying, if you can feel a little gold in those cracks a little bit, at least you can find the good in it and the clarity enough to move forwards. Now, when you move forwards, it still doesn't mean that you're going in the right direction. So don't be confused if frustration sets in again. For
You just
me,
need to take action.
yes, for me, I realized, and it's been a little while, I realized Like everything in life, life is about ups and downs. Always the ups and downs. There will always be the ups and downs. If you're younger and say, man, I can't wait to be an adult and be on my own because life's going to be grandiose. I hope and pray that it is. But folks, the realism is there's always issues out there that we have to deal with. So find the gold or the silver linings in anything that's bad. And I I'll be transparent here. When my father passed away this past September, I- he was 84 years old. We knew it was a matter of time. Okay. We just didn't know when. There was no horrific death. It was natural. And but yet at the same time, our family was left with two businesses that we had to figure out what to do with. Well, I chose this as my silver lining. I chose that I was going to learn out of this. And you guys have heard me say the last 2 years have been a learning experience. And that's what I wanted that was my silver lining. The crack was my dad passed away. The silver lining was I'm learning out of this. I'm learning valuable, valuable life lessons. Sometimes they can't be taught until you have to go through these things. And that's where the cracks come into play. It happens to every one of us. We don't realize it, but I probably suggest that we have these cracks on a daily basis. We don't think about it. Maybe it's such a small crack, it's a hairline crack, and we don't realize that it's there. A couple of days later, we say, man, how come I didn't see that? How come I didn't recognize it? It's because we don't pay attention to it. And
And,
awareness is key.
and Jay, you're just growing into your next level, right? Like John Maxwell says, you're growing into the next harder thing. That's what it
Yeah.
is. You're growing. And you guys, there's so many, Jay, you were spot on about resources. There's so many resources out there. You can use AI you can use AI to ask what business you can create with AI. I mean, there's so many resources available to us compared to like when we were younger, right? I mean, I was just telling our kids yesterday that Mike and I didn't even get our first cell phone until we were like 22 years old, 23, because cell phones weren't in existence. And that cell phone only allowed us to make calls. There was no texting, there was no internet, no camera, none of that, right? It was just a phone to make a phone call with. That's it.
Well, they were bag phones first. I mean, you stuck
Yeah.
in your car and you had this big
Yeah.
bag phone.
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it is, times have changed too. When we were younger, the word being stoic was kind of how you were raised. That's what. Look, you got to be stoic. You still have to be a little stoic in life. You still have to have that center, that calm, and be stoic. And you don't have to uh, be all over the place with your emotions, though you can. I think society now allows us to be a little bit more transparent, a little bit more open about our emotions.
That's right.
Don't be shy about them. Don't be upset that people will think I'm gonna be weak-minded. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with how are you able to move yourself forwards? Are you able to put the gold on that crack and disguise it and cover it and move forwards? And sometimes that gold is in the form of a resource. So don't look in any other direction if you need to. There's no shame, is what I'm saying, to seek help. That's maybe the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
I,
Agreed.
guys, I seek help on a morning basis when I get on this platform. The crack in my armor is multiple cracks. And when I get on this platform, I'm just adding that little gold leaf in there. One day that gold leaf's going to make me wealthy. So I tell myself.
Absolutely.
Guys, listen, it's obvious that we're not licensed therapists, nor do we want to try to be. We are licensed insurance agents. We do use this platform to discuss exactly what we had today. And we use through the Calm app, Jay Shetty's app. We listen to him every day. And Shetty is spelled Shetty. If you want to get on, we highly recommend it. That way you can help understand what we're just breaking down and dissecting. Please join us on a daily basis and get a dose of this. And I hope everybody enjoyed. Peace.
It is.